Right, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome, everyone. This is Aparo's Nonprofit Bites and Insights. These are our webinar series where we tailor the content for nonprofit professionals. We have speakers and experts from all different industries to come share their knowledge and expertise with us. Today, we are focused around HR, specifically around providing those employee benefits and checking out some tax benefits with that as well. Before I turn it over to our speakers, a few housekeeping items. We are recording this webinar. It will be uploaded to our website as well as our YouTube channel. All of you attending live with us will receive a follow-up email from me. It'll include the direct link to the recording, so you don't need to search for it, as well as a copy of the slide decks and any other resources we might talk about today. Q&A box and chat box are available for you to use. Please feel free to use those to drop in your questions or comments at any time throughout the conversation today. Really quickly, for those of you who might be new to Aparo, we are a nonprofit ourselves. We are based in Charlotte, North Carolina. And what we do is we help other nonprofits with all things technology. So the way that we do that is we connect nonprofits with our in-house expertise, as well as skilled volunteers and corporations like ADP, to help nonprofits to be more efficient in their work so that they can focus on amplifying their mission and their impact in the communities and populations that they serve. So you can see here we offer a wide range of services, and the intent is to make sure that we're meeting nonprofits where they're at. I won't go through each of these, but if you'd like to learn more about our services, the best way is to go to our website, apar.org/nonprofits, and all of the details will be there. I do want to quickly mention for those particularly in the Triangle, North Carolina area, so Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, we do have a grant award that is open for registration. It's called our Mission Possible Award. This is where one lucky organization will be selected to receive $10,000 in grant money and up to $50,000 of consulting support to make your technology dream a reality. So if that's something that sounds interesting, there's still time to RSVP for the information session as well as to register by April 14th. That's wrong, April 12th. If you'd like to connect with Aparo, these are the various ways to do so. If or when you decide you'd like to access Aparo resources, the best way is to go to the website and submit a request. You can also subscribe to our email list to stay updated on our programming. My email address is there as well. And then finally, if you like what we do, consider writing a short Google review. All right, well, that is it for me. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and go ahead and turn it over to Alex and Anna.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to join you guys today. Aparo does a lot of great work for all of their partners. And I'm excited to potentially help you all out as well and support you guys going into this year by going through some strategies for HR and tax benefits. So just let me share screen. Righty. Can you all see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. I am Alex Lebrecht. I work with ADP. We are a office based in Charlotte, but I work with people all over the country, with small businesses, nonprofits, everything in between to help them with their HR, their payroll, and applying to those tax credits. So feel free to take a picture of this screen. Obviously, we'll be going through the next slides, and I'm going to help you guys get a better idea of ways that you can strategize this year to save some money and bring revenue back into your nonprofit. I know Aparo uses the term as not nonprofit, but impact-focused organizations, because at the end of the day, bringing money back into your organization so that you can stretch that reach is like really what's going to help you guys reach more people this year and have a greater impact. So feel free to take a picture. There's my contact. I'll have it on the last slide as well. But to start out, I'd like to just say a little bit about me. So I am from Charlotte, born and raised. I work here. My whole family's from here, and I'm the youngest of three girls. So my older sister, she's a PA at the hospital in Uptown, and the middle, she's in consulting. And I graduated from Davidson. So I don't know if anyone's familiar, but a lot of people know it as the Steph Curry School. So any Golden State Warrior fans out there, then you probably know the school. It's very small. I was an English major there. So I have a really big passion for writing and podcasting. If we have any creatives on the call, that's what I like to do in my free time. And I actually, at the podcast studio, help produce a podcast for nonprofits. So feel free to contact me as well if you ever want to, get your name out there and you're doing some great things that you'd like more people to know about and get involved with. But yeah. So I kind of wanted to include a slide too in here about my why, like what really drives me as a partner for these businesses and in my role at ADP. I actually grew up, my dad owned a small business, still does, and it's in an area that I work mostly out of, which is Gastonia, North Carolina. And I kind of got to grow up and watch him grow with his business and really struggle at first, because I'm sure a lot of you know, that growth stage can be really difficult. There's a lot of pieces that go into a successful business or nonprofit that you kind of have to learn as you go. So being able to work with other small businesses has been like really beneficial and rewarding for me. Just because I got to watch, someone I'm very close to struggle with it, and being able to come to you guys with solutions and, really plan so that you can reach the goals that you have set for yourself, is kind of like something that drives me every day. I also get to choose my team. So like I said, really have a passion for creative industries and also nonprofits. So what's really great for me is I get to do events like this and educate you all and work with people that are involved in industries that I really care about, which is really cool. And then the last one I put is lasting relationships. So the school I went to, Davidson, our motto is building leaders that service their communities. So I really take my role at ADP seriously in terms of building partnerships where I can grow with the people that I'm working with, and stay with them for a really long time, again, to make sure that we're reaching those goals. So that's what drives me and gets me out of bed every day. I've really loved the work I've done so far. And like I said, I'm really excited to be introduced to you all, in case I can support you as well. So in preparation for this, I work with other nonprofits in the area. I partner with other organizations like United Way with their nonprofit partners. And this is something that Forbes came out with for 2024 that's relevant for you all. Just top trends that they're seeing with nonprofits that they think are going to be really important this year for you all to focus on. So one of them is sustainability and fiscal planning. Nonprofits saw a lot of funding with ARPA and other pandemic response programs over the past few years. And this is the year that those are really kind of like reaching their end. Either those programs are going away, or they're just, the dollars are kind of running out on that, and nonprofits, as you know, are trying to figure out new ways to find that funding. So that's a really big piece that a lot of my partners are seeing, and then also digital marketing. So obviously this is something that grows more and more important every year. And then consulting as well. So really seeing more value in outsourcing some of these services or processes that nonprofits have is something that Forbes pointed out is bringing the most successful nonprofits more revenue back, spending less time on the day-to-day so that you can actually get out there for more partnerships with other nonprofits is that last piece. So nonprofit collaboration. They're seeing a lot more organizations like Aparo and like yourselves that are kind of finding other nonprofits that align and can partner with them to build stronger bases for those audiences or communities that they want to reach is something that has really helped a lot of growth. So I kind of want to get into a little bit how outsourcing with other larger companies, whether it be through ADP or other nonprofits, can really help you guys grow this year. So with ADP, I threw these numbers out there, 1 million, 92%, 8,001. So this 1 million, that is actually a huge milestone that ADP hit this year. Obviously, we're a very large company. We are global. And that is the amount of businesses that we actually service now. So we have really broad reach, and it's kind of what I mentioned before and why I asked on that questionnaire before you even joined how many employees you have and if you're looking for growth, because no matter what you're at, ADP really has the resources to grow with you. 92% is the amount of business owners that said that we are easier to use than, say, more like simple platforms that are widely known like QuickBooks. And then 8,000 is my favorite number. Like I said, I know that there's kind of this idea around nonprofits that, that means that revenue isn't important or dollars aren't important. And that's just not true, because that is what's going to drive your impact. And $8,000 is the average amount that our partners see brought back in revenue and cost savings in their first year with ADP. So that's just that outsourcing piece, finding the holes in your nonprofit where maybe you can save time and money. That's the average amount you will see in your first year. And then that is the number of employees that you need to have to find a solution with ADP. So it does not matter how big or how small you are. There's certainly a way that we can support you. So, just getting into more details of different solutions that we offer, and that a lot of my nonprofit partners have found some value in. I have Anna on the call. She's going to get more into the benefit side, and some of the HR pieces that, more specifically apply to you all. But I just wanted to first kind of give a broad overview of some things that we cover. So obviously, ADP is known as a payroll company. That is what we started as, and we still do today. We like to say that we do the IRS's taxes, which is true. So we really, when it comes to even payroll quarterly taxes, or if it's tax refunds, tax credits, obviously nonprofits can get kind of tricky with those sorts of things. So when we sit down with your nonprofit, we look at, things that you could maybe qualify that you did not know you could qualify for. Or it can be as simple as, again, time back in your day, doing those quarterly payroll taxes, and then those W-2s and I-9s at the end of the year. As a nonprofit owner, it's still your responsibility to make sure that your employees are taking full advantage of benefits that they get as an employee of a business. So whether it's applying for loans, buying a house, things like that, like having those resources and reports for them is what's going to help them reach their own personal goals. So we provide that for you, and we make it as easy as possible. So you can do it online. Your employees can have a mobile app where they can pull that at any time. And then we also offer ways to find those people. So I don't know if this relates to you. Again, this is just based off of a lot of nonprofits I've worked with this year. We were even talking about at the beginning of the call, people kind of hopping from job to job and having a lot of trouble finding people that want to stay. And so we actually offer different resources for you all specifically to find that talent and retain them. So whether it's through ZipRecruiter, you get a free subscription to that, or if it's offering benefits that make sense for your business, so that when you find those like really great people that are doing great work with your organization, you make sure that they want to stay with you for a long time. We also do all the onboarding, hiring and firing, and we do all those taxes automatically. So again, this is just kind of a basic overview. We'll get more into the details of like exactly what those dollars are coming from and how we can feed them back into your business. But in terms of what we can offer, and what will put time back in your day, this is what would be most relevant to you all. So here's some numbers too. A big thing where I said with turnover is unemployment claims are something that we see as a huge issue for a lot of the businesses we work with. So that can be thousands and thousands of dollars taken out of your business. We want to make sure we avoid that by, again, filing all those taxes correctly, and also keeping all of that paperwork in compliance. So this was data from 2020 that we uncovered. We recovered $32 million in erroneous claims charges. So when you're thinking about, that money that's leaking out of the bottom of your nonprofit, you're not sure where it's coming from, we're kind of the partner that can help uncover that and make sure we're proactive about it. And now we can get to more of the fun part. So again, we're going to get more into the details of exactly what kind of solutions you get when you're looking at more than around 15 to 20 employees. But I know there's still about like 13 people that said that they were still below that 20 mark. And these are typically what will be most useful to you. This is included in any platform that you have with ADP, and we call it HR 411. So this is not like a replacement for an HR manager. This is really just, again, something that's going to put more time back in their day and make sure you guys are more compliant. So what a lot of people that I see when they're hiring people, they're spending a lot of money on background checks. That's something that we want to make sure that we can handle for you. And we include with just that basic level, doing your payroll and filing those taxes. You can also use the background checks option. We run those for you. They can get as complicated or as simple as you want. And then we keep that paperwork for you just in your report stock to make sure that if anything were to happen, you have all of that proof there that you did thorough background checks with your employees. We also do new hire paperwork and an employee handbook. So these are the things that will come in really useful. Again, if there were ever trouble with any employees that you have on board, they can be really costly if you're going to outsource them, say the employee handbook to an attorney. That can be thousands of dollars, but we just include it in there and we let you customize it and we do yearly updates. We just want to make sure that all of those reports are safe in a doc for you, and that we cover all of the state and federal compliance requirements that are put on y'all. These are things too with the HR 411 help desk. That's something that's open from 8:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. But again, we don't want you to be calling like a 1-800 number. Ideally, you would have someone like me on your side as your local rep, just to call anytime you need, if you have questions, you need help making changes, things like that. But if it's 8:30 p.m. on a Saturday, I may not answer my phone. So in that case, you can contact our HR support at any time, and they'll be able to help you with any of those questions. What's really great about them is that they have 15 plus years of experience. So these are real people that are local to your area and are familiar with relevant HR pieces for you, that can provide that advice and support. So having that paperwork can protect you from any type of lawsuit or audit. Again, going back to that $8,000 number, that's where we see a lot of this. It's kind of one of those things with HR compliance, you don't realize that you're in trouble until the need comes up. So with those claims of wrongful termination, or just an employee acting against policy and you firing them, you want to make sure you have the paperwork to back you up. So I actually have a couple of stories of people I helped out recently, where the employee handbook and then also that hiring and firing paperwork came in really handy. I have one client, he works with a lot of manufacturing, and he had fired this employee. It was a close friend of his, and he was still looking for work. So he said, okay, I'll pay you in cash to just throw out this trash for me. The employee came back, did not do it properly, and disposed of it on the side of the road. So this was a chemical that this owner now got a 4 a.m. call from the fire department that they were going to have to clean up this spill, and it was going to cost him $100,000. So thankfully, he had an employee handbook and he had proof that he had already terminated this employee and that he had spelled out ways to dispose of these chemicals so that he was not liable for that. I had another business, this was about 2 weeks ago. He actually does in-home mental health care for young teens. He had another employee that was picking them up from school. All the kids were in the car and they got rear-ended. Just dealing with all of the legality of that alone, we were able to provide support for him. That's something, again, that we can get more into, but just having that paperwork again to back him up and protect that employee, but also having access to local attorneys online and people that are experienced was something that really helped him out, just in terms of getting that accident paid for, but then also making sure that he wasn't going to get in trouble with any of those kids, especially for an accident that was not that employee's fault. Kind of went through this, but again, these are just included inside of that like main HR 411 doc. You'll always have access to them, and then you'll have a local rep to just kind of give you advice on that. So where I was talking about that local attorney, that is something that is an exclusive benefit and is a huge cost savings for a lot of people that I work with. Again, you're looking at thousands of dollars to have an attorney give you advice on certain things that you're dealing with, but we actually partner with Legal Shield, and that is a real attorney that is local to your area that you have access to. And it's not just for advice, it's for paperwork and it's for dealing with real issues. And then on top of that, we have inside this BizPro portal, Google Ads, optimization, website builders, business consultation. So think back to that first slide that I showed of like top things that are really concerning nonprofits this year. And one of them is that digital marketing piece. So inside this BizPro portal, if you don't already have a website up, I'm assuming most of you already do, but in case you're just now getting started with that online presence, we can help you build that. It's included in your package. But then also we have Google Ads and Google optimization. So I'm sure we've heard SEO thrown a lot out in the past few years of that search engine optimization. It comes down to just really getting those tricky keywords in there or things that are really going to boost you to the top of that search. And typically, again, this is something that you can outsource. You can pay, maybe like a specialty consulting firm that does online presence and does that marketing. But you can always just keep it all on one platform instead and keep it with ADP. Someone that I helped out last week, she had her own, it's like inner healing. So she does different like therapy, massage therapy, stuff like that. She already had a website up and started using Google Ads and optimization. So this is like a huge piece of her business that she was just not taking advantage of. And she's already seen a lot of results from it. So typically people that I help out see about a 40% increase in the amount of business that they get just from online by boosting yourself up to that top of the page. So whether it's looking for more partnerships with other nonprofits or just getting people involved, making sure that you're present online is obviously extremely important. And you need someone that's going to come in and be able to kind of dig through your website, tell you what things can help make that difference and boost you to the top. So now I know I had been saying I was going to tee in Anna to get into the more of the details of like how we can actually streamline some of these HR processes or add benefits and what that's going to do to change your business this year. So I'm just going to kind of tee this over to Anna. She can get more into the details of how we specifically help nonprofits and what's going to help you guys grow this year. So Anna, you can just tell me when you want to turn the slide, but I'll pass it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. It's great to meet everyone. I hope everyone's having a good day. I wanted to join this call today because my area of ADP is strictly in the HR side, and as well as we like to call it a shared liability approach, really where we've been able to help partner up with small to mid-sized businesses of any industry, really to be able to help streamline, automate, put everything in one place for y'all. Ultimately to give you time back into your day. There is a lot of mundane tasks that you all are probably doing on a day-to-day basis that's taking up a lot of time of your day, that you really can't focus on the growth of your business, revenue, employees, getting money back into your bottom line, whatever that might look like, because you are spending a lot of time on the back end of things. So a shared liability approach has been a really big way where we've been able to help out organizations. If you want to move on, Alex, to the next slide, I'll get started. A lot of organizations that we meet with on a day-to-day basis are operating, as you can see, we are very visual people. At least I am. So I wanted to add this slide in that's just kind of helps give y'all more of a breakdown of things, where a lot of you are probably operating it as we like to call a traditional employer model. There's no wrong way of operating like this. A lot of you are probably very successful to this day operating in this way. But as you can see, we kind of treat that red dot in between everything as your organization. And you all are probably using multiple different vendors for different things on how your business operates. So you probably have a specific person handling HR and doing all the things, compliance, recruiting and training, all of that good stuff on a day-to-day basis. Your benefits administration, that's obviously a huge piece of an organization. So they're probably handling the benefits administration, any 5,500 filings, any vision, health, just really making sure that everything's buttoned up and that everyone's getting enrolled, that you guys are really strategizing for your benefits on a yearly basis. Affordable Care Act, depending on how big y'all's organizations are, that's something that you'll usually have to go through. 401k, workers' compensation, really dealing with OSHA, handling the audits, really making sure that your organization's up to the risk and safety that y'all should be at. And then, of course, your payroll. So a lot of organizations are working with different vendors for each of these things, which, again, no problem doing that. A lot of organizations are successful in that way. But we are finding, and what we have found with a lot of organizations is, these all kind of deal with payroll one way or another. And the thing is they're all not tied together and they're all not communicating with one another. So what that leads to is a lot of things just really slipping through the cracks. There's not a lot of communication. It just really exposes y'all to a lot of risk. So what we want to do is really bring that all under one umbrella for your organization, automate that, streamline it, really help monitor it for you all. That way, again, we can kind of monitor the back end things, and y'all can focus on your day-to-day tasks and growing the organization and, what those focuses are. So what we do is we do pair that with our data technology, and we give you a dedicated support team to your organization directly to really pair that all in one. If you want to go to the next slide, Alex, that'd be great. Something that I did want to throw in here that I really like to touch on with organizations, PwC actually did come out with a stat last year, really where organizations who are operating with multiple vendors bring it all under one vendor to more of a single source provider. They do see a 32% increase in cost efficiency versus doing the multiple vendor approach. So wanted to throw that in there. Figured stats are always great, and that's a pretty good significant increase. So really just wanted to add that in there and just kind of giving y'all an idea of what that change could be when it comes to moving to a single source provider. Alex, if you want to move to the next, that'd be awesome. Thank you. I really wanted to touch on this team specifically because a lot of organizations really enjoy this piece that the shared liability can bring into play. Like I mentioned with the data and technology, that's one thing. But the dedicated service team, what we really want to do here with this team is give y'all the resources and the support that you need to really help you operate like a Fortune 500 organization. The organizations that we really benefit the most, their sizes range anywhere from 10 employees to 200 employees. We want to give you the support to be able to operate like a Fortune 500 business. So what we do is we give your organization a team. Each of these people that you are looking at right now on the screen, they are individual people, all local to your area with direct phone numbers, emails, etc. So you aren't calling into an 800 number or emailing over just like a general email. You will have an HR business partner dedicated to your organization. This person really acts as the quarterback of your organization. They'll partner up with your HR manager if y'all have one for your organization. If you don't, they really do act as your HR support. We work with a lot of organizations that don't have HR today. I met with an organization Tuesday where the owner is doing a lot of the HR work, and that, I mean, as you probably all know, that's a lot of work day in and day out, where if you don't have somebody in that HR role and you might not be able to afford to bring in multiple people for HR or even one person, this really acts as a nice HR support where that can really take place of having to hire on somebody to do that. What they're going to be doing is partnering up with your current HR manager, if you have one, or just somebody who's handling those tasks right now. And they're really going to help sit down and learn the ins and outs of the organization, really understand where y'all are at today, where you're looking to go, and really help strategize where it is you're looking to go and how to get there, and help your organization implement that as well. So they're really going to act as that quarterback and partner up with the organization to really be able to help y'all with the needs and where you're looking to grow the organization. What they're able to do as well is really help out with compliance. So any changes from a state to federal level, this team or this person will be able to make those changes for you, and they'll update the organization. So y'all won't have to worry about staying on top of the compliance and the federal changes. This person will do that for you and just keep y'all up to date on what that is. The next person that you get for your organization is a payroll representative. Pretty straightforward. Y'all probably run payroll on a day-to-day basis today, whether it's in-house or you're using somebody, but this person will just kind of be an added support to the organization. And if you run payroll and then you're seeing that there might be some deductions that don't make sense, or there might be some glitches, or you just might see some numbers that look a little bit off, you will have a direct person to call who can look into that for you and help you fix those issues. Really just that extra support when it comes to running payroll. You will have another person. This team is called My Life Advisors. It is actually an award-winning team for ADP that a lot of organizations enjoy. This is for your employees directly. You all are probably getting asked on a day-to-day basis from your employees a lot of mundane questions, if you will. Hey, I'm locked out of the system. I need a password reset. Or how much PTO do I have left? What does my 401k look like if y'all are offering 401k? Or I'm having a baby in 3 months. What's that transition going to look like on bringing them on benefits? They're really just going to be that support when it comes to a lot of employee questions. I did notice that a lot of y'all aren't really working with the technology today, but maybe that's something that you'd be interested in. So maybe you're all tracking PTO, et cetera, with Excel documents and things like that. This is where you can move that over into a technology where everything's sitting in one place. And you could go to this team for any of those types of questions to keep track of those things. And this team is also available from 8 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. Monday through Friday Eastern Standard Time. So any questions that or anything that comes up with conversations that your employees are having after hours, they do have a team to go to directly ASAP. Another one is that benefits piece. So you will have a benefits consultant directly to your organization. So they will be able to really help out with open enrollment, walk your employees through what your medical plans look like, what are the perks of the plans, really make sure that people understand what benefits they're signing up for, and maybe what would be best. Say y'all offer 2 or 3 plans today, or one, or if you want to scale up to a few more plans in one, you have the capability to do that with ADP, and they will help manage that carrier relationship. They will help strategize what those plans might look like if y'all want to change those. And really to be as proactive versus reactive, because as you all probably are aware, benefits are one of the biggest things that employees look at when joining an organization. And I know that's one of the biggest hits to an organization's bottom line. So we really want to make sure that we are, being proactive versus reactive on what plans your employees have to take advantage of and, what that cost looks like. And then lastly, you will have a risk and safety consultant to the organization. So somebody who can come on site anytime y'all want, walk through, the site and make sure that y'all are as risk averse as possible. Really just make sure that y'all are as compliant as possible. Really just want to make sure that all of your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed when it comes to risk and safety to the organization. If you want to move on, Alex, we can go to the next. Something else in this solution that a lot of organizations really enjoy, especially after COVID, right? I mean, working for the last 10 years and just how much the job market and how much things have changed from before COVID to during COVID and after COVID. There has been a lot of mental health within that and just a lot of things that not only organizations and companies have struggled with, but of course, individual people as well. And we are able to bring an employee assistance program to your organization, which it is free online counseling and therapy to your employees. So whether it's emotional, marital, personal, drug abuse, whatever that might be for your organization and your employees individually, they do have access 24/7 to virtual therapy. If they want to go ahead and do it in person, your employees can, but they can only go in person. They can go for up to 3 instances or 3 different things, 3 times a year per instance. So say somebody wants to go, marital for one thing, personal and emotional, they can go and do 3 different types of therapies, but they can go for each 3 times a year in person. So that's up to 9. And then if they want to continue going in person, they will have to pay for that. And that obviously just depends on what that looks like for the organization because everyone's different. But if not, and they want to do it virtually, it's free 24/7 therapy that your employees can take advantage of, which has been awesome. A lot of organizations, who haven't been able to give that to their employees today, given how expensive that is to help contribute. This has been something that people have loved to take advantage of for the employees and they've enjoyed. Another thing that we offer, it's called ADP discounts. So it will be a tab in the portal that really it's just coupons that are accessible to your organization. We get email updates, I think monthly on what that looks like for us. So coupons when it comes to groceries, when it comes to phone bills, flights, hotels, retail stores, it changes. I want to say it's monthly on what those coupons look like and for what stores and et cetera. But I've used it for a few flights where flights are usually $500 and I've gotten a flight for $150 instead. Or, I was able to find a few coupons and bring them to Aldi or Publix or wherever you might shop. That has really been able to help me cut down on some of my grocery expenses because we know those are all super expensive. But that's just an extra perk that your organization can take advantage of and your employees can take advantage of. And then lastly, My Life. It is another part of the technology where this just has a lot of articles on really just ways to live a healthier lifestyle. I went through and they do have, articles on handling stress, on, healthy eating, on, certain workouts or, I think it's updated also, but maybe on like certain disabilities and things like that. There's a lot of articles that you can go in and really educate yourself on what that might look like. How can I, do at home stuff to help and things like that. So these are just some added benefits for employees that are kind of outside your general benefits that ADP offers that you will automatically get with the shared liability solution. I don't know if we have any other slides. I know that we have one more slide that I definitely want to touch on. There are some things that I would like to touch on quickly because I know we might be running out of time. When it comes to bringing everything under one umbrella, we're talking about your benefits, your workers' compensation, onboarding, payroll, your taxes. There are a lot of things that ADP can handle for you that y'all wouldn't have to necessarily worry about anymore on a day-to-day basis. We do help out with, like I mentioned, ACA reporting, EEOC reporting, the 5,500 credits, the audits. We help out with a lot of different things that y'all are probably having to keep track of with different vendors on a day-to-day basis where we can just bring it under one umbrella for you all and manage that for you and just kind of give you updates rather than you all having to work with your vendor and do it yourself. We will make sure that we take care of that for you and it's done correctly because we want to make sure that y'all are as compliant as possible with ADP. And when it comes over to a benefit standpoint, which I know I didn't get to touch on as much, but ADP does partner up with United Healthcare and Aetna. We have a very strong partnership with both of those carriers, and we do have benefit plans that y'all's providers or carriers today don't have access to. And we've really been able to help do apples to apples comparisons with what y'all are doing today with benefits, or help strategize different benefits for your employees. And we've really been able to help out when it comes to costability and cost savings for an organization. Like I mentioned, I know hiring is a really big, hitter for organizations, especially nonprofits and benefits. You want to be able to attract and retain talent and employees. So we've really been able to help do that with the benefit strategy and the benefit plans that we've been able to offer. And we do leverage that by pulling from our pool of 800,000 employees instead of maybe your pool of 5 employees. And we're really able to help stabilize those benefit renewals and those spikes by doing so. And we're able to pull from that 800,000 and get y'all really good rates when it comes to benefit plans and that type of stuff. And we do handle the benefits administration on that area as well. I know a lot of people have to do that on a day-to-day basis, where maybe you have somebody doing that today that isn't really adverse in benefits, but that might just be what y'all are taking on today. That benefits consultant is going to be able to help out in that regard. And I know that we were talking about tax credits and things like that. We do have an R&D team that we can, go through and look at what y'all's organization is doing today and really see what you're eligible for when it comes to tax filings, and those R&D tax credits. And we would really just get a tax professional to group up with your organization and just gather a few documents from you, and we can go ahead and sift through and see what y'all are eligible to claim. I'm not super well versed with that, but we do have a partner that does that we've been able to uncover a lot of findings for organizations and ways to get money back into your bottom line by doing that. But I know we're running out of time. Lastly, just kind of wanted to give y'all just an overall arcing slide of just showing you what we can all help out in. And it can be individualized or it can be under one umbrella, but we can really help when it comes to growth with the cost stabilization. Hiring and firing employees can always be expensive, but we can really help scale up and scale down with your organization. It looks like a lot of you are growing today, and the shared liability model really, really helps when it comes to giving y'all the support, helping when it comes to that, and really just helping take the organization where they're looking to go with all the changes that are being made. But I kind of just wanted to wrap it up because I know we have a few minutes. If y'all have any questions, or Alex, if you have anything else to add, but a lot of organizations have at least been doing an evaluation with us to see what that looks like and what the pricing looks like and how y'all can take advantage of it. So we've been at least running evaluations for organizations today on how that can be of benefit for you. Does anyone have any questions? I know that we're almost running out of time, but just wanted to open up on if anybody has any immediate questions. And Alex and I are more than happy to have individual conversations with you all as well if you have a lot of questions, but I'll open it up right now to anybody who has any right now. No worries if not. Definitely feel free to reach out. I'm sure our emails and our contact information will be sent out, but would love to group up with all of you guys if you're interested in having individual conversations on how ADP can help. Every organization and nonprofit is, operating in a different way or might be struggling with different things. So really would be able to uncover how we can help out. And we've been able to help out a lot. So thank you all for your time, and I'll pass it on over.
Well, thanks, Anna. And I mean, while you guys are sitting on some questions you might have or brainstorming that too, like I included some slides for other contacts for you guys. So if anyone is just looking at a 401k, or maybe you already have a retirement plan set up, this is another really big conversation we're having with people, just in terms of obviously saving money, but then also getting money back in the form of tax credits. So obviously, again, nonprofits can be tricky. It really differs depending on each organization, but please take a picture of this slide. Ben Blevins is my partner here in Charlotte. He's really great. He's been here for 15 years. And I just kind of included a breakdown of the different options we have and what those caps would be. This is a huge benefit that people love to include for themselves. for their employees. And we again walk you through what tax credits you'd get through the Secure Act that was passed almost 2 years ago. We call it the 3 R's with this, which is recruit, retain, and retire. So having a retirement plan is going to be a lot more attractive towards anyone you're looking to add to your team when they're shopping out different, careers. It's going to keep them to stay because we can do vesting options on there. And then obviously it'll help all of those employees retire one day, which is ultimately the goal. We also do time and attendance. So if you guys are doing that manually, or if you're looking at something, a little bit more complex, whether you have people going out and visiting and you want them to be able to geo-track so that they can't clock in until they're actually on site. If you want to do facial recognition, we can do that. Or if you want to keep it simple, they can do it on their phones. Hannah Kinney is a person that you can contact for that. And then lastly, workers' compensation. So if we have anyone in here from North Carolina, it's 3 employees or more, you have to have it. So we do it with your payroll. That way you don't owe a lot at your audit at the end of the year. Instead, we're just taking it out bit by bit based off of your actual payroll. So just again, helps with cash flow, helps you really sit down and set a realistic budget for the year when you know how much is actually going to be coming out per paycheck. So Molly does that. Feel free to scan this. This is how you're able to access ADP. You can have the app, take a look around of what we went over today, and just kind of look around and see what benefits maybe would be most relevant to you. But I would say the simplest option is just to contact me. I can connect you with Anna as well. But that's my email. That's my personal cell. If you have any questions after this presentation, and you want us to sit down, like Anna said, we've been doing individual consultations. They're completely free. If you even just have questions that you kind of want to get some answers to regarding any benefits or HR processes or compliance stuff like that, we're always happy to sit down and answer your questions. It's what I love to do. Love to support you all. So feel free to reach out, but I'll open it up again just in case anyone had some questions that they thought of in the past few minutes that they'd like to ask now before we sign off for the day.
If anyone's putting in any questions, in the meantime, a question for you around the slide deck. Is it okay if we get a copy of that so that our participants can review it on their own time? I know it's a lot of information, a lot of great information.
Yeah, absolutely. I can just send it your way and you can kind of shoot it out.
Perfect. Will do. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any questions come through, but as you all know, Alex and Anna are really open for connecting and to answer your questions when they do come up. Expect that follow-up email from me, if not by tomorrow. Tomorrow's a holiday, so probably early Monday, with the recording as well as a copy of the slide deck. You guys will have my contact information as well if you have any questions that you want to shoot over. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of the day. And thank you both, Alex, Anna, for taking the time to share all the great information around ADP and what you guys have to offer. All right.
Thanks so much, y'all.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.